that was down by the 10-yard line.
Yay, yo, they finessing. The ref just moved the ball. Did we witness the most fixed game of the NFL 2020 season, man? Let's check out this video, see how it looks.
The NFL may not have the same sort of soiled reputation that the NBA has when it comes to shady behavior from its officials. There hasn't been the same wide-scale controversy like what happened with Tim Donaghy, the former NBA ref who rose to infamy for his role in a gambling scandal. But even so, there are some NFL games and calls that take place with certain teams during certain matchups that
with Brady?
look like they simply have to be fixed. And you know what? We might have just witnessed the single most fixed game of the entire 2020 NFL season. Tom Brady, formerly a member of the New England Patriots and of 28-3 fame, led his team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, into a divisional matchup with their NFC South neighbor and old friend in the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta had a tough start to the 2020 season, limping to a 4-9 start to its season largely due to inconsistent play from the team's defense and aging star quarterback Matt Ryan. Tampa Bay, on the other hand, while sputtering, was right in the thick of the playoff race, sitting at 8-5 with much of their postseason destiny still in their hands. That made this game a highly anticipated matchup, largely because of the playoff implications that it had for the Buccaneers. As so many people around the league are curious about how far Brady can go without former head coach Bill Belichick. And based off of how the actual game ended up playing out, I'm starting to think that perhaps some people in the league office had a similar interest in the Buccaneers making it to the postseason in their first season with Tom Brady under center.
Why you say that, bro?
In fact, there are a couple of pivotal plays that looked so suspect that not only social media, but even the play-by-play guys started to openly wonder if there was a conspiracy unfolding in front of us.
Even the commentators?
I don't want to read into conspiracy theories and such at this time, but I mean, could be a possible conspiracy.
Even the commentators?
I'm not alone in thinking that. It sort of makes sense when you think about it. Having Tom Brady in the postseason, with the Super Bowl scheduled to be played in Tampa Bay this year, it'll be a big-ticket item for the NFL in terms of viewership and revenue. And that's especially important to the NFL in a year where revenue is down because of COVID-19. Having the future Hall of Famer in the mix brings immediate intrigue to the entire deal. But just because it makes sense from a ratings perspective, and because there were some people who were angry at a call in the NFL, which really is nothing new, right? Well, that does not guarantee that the game was fixed, does it? So how about we take a quick look back at what transpired?
That's definitely not a first down.
You can be the judge. The game got off to a rather dubious start for the Buccaneers, who, like we mentioned, were in fairly desperate need of a victory against this woefully mediocre Falcons side. Atlanta's offense came out firing behind a strong performance from Matt Ryan, who would finish the day with 356 yards passing, touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a 110.6 quarterback rating. Not to mention the great performance from the team's defense as a whole, which shut the Buccaneers out in the first half, as the team led 17-0. But in the second half, it looked like Brady started to remember who he was and who the team on the other side of the field was. Brady did his best to essentially recreate his Super Bowl miracle by leading the Buccaneers on 5 consecutive scoring drives,
against the same
allowing the team to outscore Atlanta 31-10 in the second half of Sunday's matchup, en route to a 31-27 final victory. His head coach, Bruce Arians, gushed over his timely performance, saying he's just a winner. He knows how to do it. The Buccaneers tight end Cameron Brate echoed a similar sentiment. A lot of it is his track record. The belief he inspires in us all, Brate said. He's done it on the biggest stage, that 28-3 game. We've seen him do it. That being said, Brady's backers conveniently decided to leave out more than a couple of key details as to how this epic comeback came to be. Tampa Bay had done the bulk of the work already, having stormed all the way back from the aforementioned deficit to take a 4-point lead. But the Buccaneers were not out of the woods yet. The team was at a pivotal moment. There was just under 2 minutes left, and the clock was still winding. Tampa Bay's high-powered offense was faced with a 3rd down and 2 yards to go. With a 1st down, the game would be all but cemented, because they could just kneel out the rest of the clock.
That's true.
But if they didn't convert it, they'd be faced with a tough decision between kicking a field goal to make it a 7-point game, or trying to convert on 4th and inches, which would put them at risk of handing the ball back to Atlanta with enough time to try and make a last-ditch effort at stealing the victory. On that 3rd down, Tampa Bay elected to hand the rock off to Leonard Fournette, who went bumbling into the line and was taken down. From the initial shot definitely well short. It looked like Fournette was well short of the first down.
Well short of the first
down. Which
was
positioned at the 9-yard line. I mean, when you listen back, Fox's broadcaster Kevin Burkhardt could not have sounded any more certain that he didn't reach
let
the
us hear it.
Give it to Fournette, who is not quite going to get there. And
Yeah,
so
he well
for the
short.
fourth down.
Which meant that Tampa had to either kick or try and convert on fourth down. And this is where it all started to get more than a little bit sketchy.
Wait,
The
what
refs
happened?
Took out the first down chains and did the whole thing, walking them out and
Well, that's where
planting
that
it
first down came
And
from?
even from the first camera angle.
Yo, that's
it
not a
looked
first
like
down.
There was a small but
That's
no
not a
gap
first
between the
down.
nose of the football
That's
and
not a
the
first
marker.
down.
Then, all of a sudden, the cameras panned away from the officiating crew and
That's not a
zoomed
first
in
down.
on Tom Brady.
What?
And a couple
They gave
of
it
the
to him?
Buccaneers players
That is not a
bumped
first
in
down.
by
Hold up.
Brady,
Nah,
that
nah,
they
nah,
had
nah, nah, nah.
converted the first down.
They converted
The
it?
initial
That was
excitement
not no
was
first
leading
down,
some
boy.
pause from the booth
Nah,
as
bro.
they realized what was happening
Hold
in
up.
front of them. Check out this back and forth.
It doesn't look like a first, but I guess
That
it
is not no
I didn't
first
think he got
down,
it
boy. They
initially.
Looked like it was a little bit
finessed the
closer
Falcon,
to
boy. That is
the
not no
10-yard
first
line than
down,
they've got it
bro.
right now.
And the more the booth
Nah.
watched the play unfold, the more that they dug the NFL's hole deeper. Burkhardt went as far as to say,
I honestly have no idea how they could look at that
That's
and say
not
he
a
got
first
there.
down. That's nowhere
Let's
near a
just-
first
if you're
down.
thinking that at home,
They can
we are too.
you
He was
clearly
short,
see the
but they
gap in the
decided
middle.
The game is over.
and it wasn't just Burkhardt who felt this way either. Dean Blandino, Fox's NFL rules analysis, told Burkhardt live on air,
Yeah, I'm looking at this, and it certainly looks short. I didn't see any part of that football making the night, but in looking at this, I do feel he's short.
Well short.
thanks. Even if there wasn't a conspiracy underway, it is a bad look for the NFL
Blind.
to have its officials blow such an important call in a pivotal moment like this.
That's terrible.
Especially with all the technological resources that they now have to get the call right. Either way, the call is upheld and Tampa Bay
That's
proceeds to run notching
tough.
their 9th win and better positioning themselves for the postseason run that they've been dreaming about since inking Brady this offseason.
That's tough.
Atlanta, on the other hand, was gutted by the loss. I mean, even the team's social media manager took to the Twitter streets to lament both the call and the loss.
That's
You know what?
tough.
It's starting to look like Atlanta might have a pretty valid complaint that there was some collusion against
Yeah,
them
they-
here.
yeah, they finessed.
Just check out this slow-mo view of what was going on while the refs thought that the cameras were not on them. You can clearly see the official in the midst of all the players take the ball from where Fournette was down by the 10-yard line.
Yay, yo, they finessing. The ref just moved the ball. Nah, bro, he finessing, bro. He's finessing, bro.
In real time, it's
Nah.
obvious that Fournette was down
Nah.
near the 10-yard line because
Nah.
as he's being tackled, the ball kind of curls back in towards his body. So it's not even like one of those forward progress types of situations either. And when you take a closer look at the officials who were involved in the decision, the whole ordeal looks even more sketchy. The line judge that comes running onto the field to move the ball, referee number 65, better known as Walt Coleman IV, is a second-generation official whose dad, Walter Coleman III, has actually had a long history with Brady.
Of
Coleman
course.
III was on the field during the infamous Tuck Rule game, which had a crucial ruling that, you know, kinda favored Brady.
Court.
Reviewing the play, the quarterback's arm was going forward. It is an incomplete pass.
Coleman III was
Course.
also the head official in the 2003 AFC Championship game between
That's
the
crazy.
Pats and the Colts. A game in which the Colts later complained that the refs didn't properly call illegal contact, pass interference, and defensive holding against the Pats team.
Wait, what?
The calls made in that game were so egregious that the NFL ended up changing the way it treated those penalties and implemented a much stricter enforcement policy on them.
Oh my
limiting
God, he
the
got
amount that
rocked.
defensive backs
Sheesh.
could make contact with opposing wide receivers. And where it gets really crazy is when you hear Coleman rave about Brady and the way that he greeted him after the last game as an NFL official. Yes, he came out to my last regular season game. I was in New England and he wasn't playing that day. After the last play, Tom came from the bench. Normally, we immediately run off the field, but all the guys on my crew all came out and got around me and were all congratulating me, shaking my hand. So we were still out there longer than normal. And Tom came over there and congratulated me on my career and we shook hands, and that was really nice. He didn't have to do that. He could have gone on and shook hands with the other team's quarterback like they normally do, but he made a point to do that, and I appreciate it.
Dog, 'cause you rigged the games for him.
We're pretty buddy-buddy if you ask me. Meaning that not only is there the possibility that the NFL was incentivized to slant the game towards the Buccaneers as they want to ensure they qualify for the postseason, but it's also entirely possible that Coleman IV was just independently backing Brady because the QB
that man
had
clearly
such a good
moved the ball
relationship with his father. His father, who he was very close with, as he set him on the path towards an exciting career as an NFL official. I mean, he even changed his jersey number when his father retired, from 87 to 65 in his honor.
It's crazy.
The entire situation stinks to high heaven. I don't know if the NFL was in on the fix or if perhaps it was just Walt Coleman paying a favor to an old friend, but either way, if I were a Falcons player, I would be pissed off that a hard-fought game ended like this.
No way. That man clearly moved the ball, bro. You clearly moved the ball, bro. That's crazy, man.
Game?
Let me know down in the comments. Was that the most fixed game y'all ever saw, bro? Let me know if the evidence holding up to y'all, man. It looked convincing to me, but hope y'all boys enjoyed this video. If you watch this right now, appreciate you. See you in the next video, bro.